So you're saying with Baby Steps that some of the film is actually almost a letter to your mom, or saying things that you can't express. And I know you've done a documentary, again, along the same lines of a letter to, like a love letter to someone. Do you want to share about this documentary? Because it's online and it's very emotional.
Yeah, the film is called A Love Letter. I'm part of the LGBTQ Asian American community. I'm on the board of PFLAG, San Gabriel Valley API chapter. As a gay man, I felt like I've known about prejudice and discrimination and stuff like that. But honestly, admittedly, I felt like I didn't really know much about transgender experience, even though there's a lot of similarities. Through PFLAG in San Gabriel Valley chapter, I met a lot of families with transgender children, transgender members of the family. So I felt like, oh my God, they're going through such similar journeys that I went through as a gay man. I felt that I wanted to tell their stories. As a filmmaker, that's something to tell our experience, tell our authentic experience is something that's very important to me. So PFLAG and Gap App Foundation commissioned this project. We came up with the concept of writing a letter either to yourself or to your husband, to your wife, to your transgender children, to yourself or to your future self, or to people you don't know, about your life, what it's like to have, how are you affected by having a transgender person in your family. So I interviewed 2 Japanese American families, both parents, their children and siblings, and each person wrote a love letter. And it was so touching. I learned so much about their journey. As a matter of fact, it's just like last weekend, I was talking to a gay friend, and he's like, Barney, I just don't, as a gay man, right? I'm like, I just don't get transgender experience. I just don't get why, I don't get it. I'm like, you know what? Watch the film. Yeah.
And did he watch it?
Yeah.
What did he say?
Now I get it. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's definitely I feel so honored to be part of the community and to be able to tell their story in a very authentic way.
Do you think that because many celebrities have sort of, whether not even just come out themselves as transgender, but been willing to take roles and explore that, whereas maybe before it was seen as more taboo?
I think having celebrities talk about transgender issue definitely amplify the visibility, the community. But it's very important to know that the LGBTQ community or even the transgender community by itself is not monolithic. As I mentioned before, some gay men don't even care about, don't know much about transgender community. Some lesbians hate transgender people.
Really?
So everybody is different. The community is not monolithic, just like the Asian American community is not monolithic.
Sure.
So yes, having a celebrity definitely brings more visibility, but they do not represent all Asian American or transgender or LGBTQ community experiences.
Interesting. And I'm just surprised that would be the case, just because you would feel that they would want to at least band together, because
you would
if
think
it's
so,
something
right?
that they feel that there's no way they can help it. This is who they are.
Right. You would think that empathy, right? So you've gone through discrimination as a gay person. You would be more empathetic to transgender individuals or Asian American being racially discriminated against, whatever. You would think that people would be more empathetic, but that's not necessarily the case all the time.
Sure. Yeah. I guess that's just a function of any group, any culture.
Everybody's different.
Yeah. Everybody kind of has their own. Well, I'm this and this is right, but that's not right. And so, and also I think some of it can come from just, and I'm not speaking of the LGBTQ community, but just within any culture, where there's very strict parameters on how you're supposed to be and what is acceptable,
Right.
what other ethnicity, that it's very easy to point fingers and feel, well, I'm safe and I'm good, but that's not, you know, and I think that we're hopefully we can look at that, whatever the issue is that we're pointing fingers at others for.
You know, what's very interesting is hate crimes, homophobia, a lot of times come from gay people themselves because
I did not know that.
they can't deal with this trauma, this fear within themselves, that they have to express that fear in a very violent way to other gay people.
Interesting.
So yeah, there are a lot of homophobia, a lot of politicians, for example, that are anti-gay or closeted gay themselves.
Sure, and fighting to stop certain things, and then you find out that things are otherwise. Yeah.